in the studio with me is Mayor Orr, your mayor of Cheyenne, Wyoming, to talk about some budget issues, because I've been watching that hit in the media, and all of the different things that you've decided to not spend money on, and the things that you wanted to spend money on.
Yeah.
Which is a lot to go through.
It is.
But before we get into the numbers, how long does it take to put together a budget?
Months.
Okay.
It's taken us probably 3 months with all of the department directors.
Okay.
And it's a really intense process.
Massive. Okay.
Yeah.
What did you cut? That's my favorite part. I want dessert first. What
Absolutely.
did you cut?
I don't know that we cut anything. We didn't grow.
Okay.
Which is good, unlike our city.
Yeah.
In the past 2 years, the city of Cheyenne, we've actually, between annexations, we've grown literally 5 miles in our incorporated area. So we are still providing the services that we do with the money that we have. The budget was slightly increased this year, but it was because of things that we couldn't control: workers' compensation, health insurance.
Well, if it was increased then a little bit, but so does that mean more revenue comes in to cover that? In other words, or do we?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah. Fortunately, sales tax revenues are very high, so we gave the city council a balanced budget, and again, with the exception of some areas, community recreation events, we're just going gangbusters at the Civic Center. So I believe we probably need some additional help over there. And but really, overall, it's pretty flat.
Downtown Development Authority. I saw an article about that.
Yeah.
They're not happy.
They are not with me. So we
Okay.
have that discussion later this week, and it's the same thing that I did last year. I think that we really need to have a really good, healthy discussion about return on investment.
Okay. Now, this is one of those rare moments you and I agree on something, because, as you've heard me say how many times now, if you're spending money on something, or even just trying a certain, what you think is a solution, and it isn't working, and you've given it a good amount of time, then just stop doing it. That doesn't work.
That's exactly it. That's my perspective on it. I haven't seen really any significant change, and yet we're still continuing to spend a lot of money in that area. And again, what we did this year was actually look to other communities, not in Wyoming, as far as what they provide their DDA, and many communities don't provide funds, or minimally $50,000, not the almost $400,000 that we
And I think they wanted 700-some-thousand is what they were
wanted
hoping
more.
For.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, you got to show the results in order to get that. Now, I would think, though, but tell me if I'm wrong, if they were showing incredible results and they wanted more money to get better results, you might have been in favor.
Correct.
Okay.
But at the same time, this is where Mr. Laybourne and I agree. You take that amount of money over the past few years, and we could have really taken care of the curb and gutter downtown in those areas.
There you go. Okay, and some potholes.
And we're getting on those. We needed we need the snow to clear first, and we needed to warm up a bit, and then and then we're on the potholes.
For those people who know, because I do know that when wintertime comes around, those potholes get worse. I mean, really bad.
Yeah.
But you need a certain amount of temperature and so on to get
We
through?
do.
Okay.
Yep. We actually need it to be warmer than it is out right now, and drier than it is, so that we can make the repairs correctly.
Okay. Things that you added money to.
Really, it was our risk management. That's our liability insurance company for the city, and we did budget for a 9.5% increase in health insurance costs. The kind of the market average from what we were looking at was between 9 and 11% increase.
Right.
We hired a consultant last year, much to the chagrin of some. Hiring a consultant, there was some criticism
I probably
on that.
grumbled about it myself.
I think you might have.
She's looking at me while she's saying
it's okay.
it.
We hired a consultant at about $75,000. And we found out this week that she did a heck of a job and saved the city roughly $800,000. We will have a 0% premium increase in our Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance premiums.
Okay, so when you sent me a note saying you have some kind of announcement, that was the announcement.
Well,
right there.
yeah, with the budget,
news.
it's really big news. It's great for our city employees. It's great for the taxpayers.
Right.
Investing in a consultant, somebody that really knows what they're doing, really knows the market. She was tough. She was obviously a very tough negotiator, and credit to our partners at Blue Cross Blue Shield too. They're a good community partner. They realize that what we plan on doing in the future, if I, in my opinion, what we should do with what we now will have a savings from what we budgeted is take that money that we've set aside for those increases, that $800,000, set it aside for next year and become self-insured, where we actually have control of our rates. We've got control of the data regarding our claims, and so self-insured is probably the way that we'll be able to save the most money for taxpayers.
Okay, raises. Anybody get any?
Not substantially, just bringing folks up to, again, market level, because we have been underpaying for some positions, and the turnover is costly as well.
Okay. Now, well, I do know, having been an employer myself, that if you do have a high turnover, there's a lot of training that goes on that actually does add to the cost.
It does.
I wonder, though, as part of the negotiation with someone, because I've been asked before, well, why, since I've come from markets like Tampa and so on, why aren't I there? Because it costs more to live there.
Right.
I mean, you can double my salary, but it costs twice as much to live there. So what's the point, really? It's how much I get to keep after I paid all my bills.
Right.
So I wonder if someone from another, you're trying to hire someone away, like you're good at doing, stealing people from other cities.
Yes.
And they turn and say to you, well, but you don't make as much money there in Cheyenne. Do you throw out, yeah, but the cost of living here is sweet?
That's kind of a misnomer. The cost of living, our property taxes are still fairly high.
Yeah.
Our rental market is very high.
No state income tax.
That's true.
Yeah, it is true. I found, coming from where I've come from, the cost of living in Cheyenne is actually a lot better than many other areas in the country. It's actually pretty good here.
Cost of living is good, and one of the things, and again, speaking to the benefits, and this is why it is so important that while we may not be paying people at the top of the market, the benefits that we do have, the health insurance, again, no increase in those rates. That's a big deal too.
Okay, where do you look to draw people from when you're looking to steal? Again, which you're so good at.
Oh, I am. Other communities that are really successful and are being innovative.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any
Open to change.
Any big surprises in the budget over last year at all? I mean, anything that you did that was different?
The one thing that we did that is different is we're creating a new department. It's a reorganization. It's a compliance department.
Right.
So we're taking, back to fight the blight.
Yes,
we're taking the nuisance officers. We're taking risk management, our ADA compliance. We're putting that all into essentially one department, a compliance department.
Okay, so in other words, eliminating others to make one department and make it more efficient, is that right?
More efficient and more, we're not really eliminating, we are increasing efficiency, if you will, by communication. The building code, our building inspectors will be in the compliance area. So nuisance, building code compliance, all of that will be under one umbrella.
Does nuisance include radio talk show hosts?
Absolutely.
Probably, I would think so.
In fact, we have to look at those fines.
Yeah, and those fines and infractions, which I should add a couple, by the way.
Absolutely.
But, okay, we do. Is this your department? We see, we had some articles up about people who park for a while downtown, and then the chalk on the tire thing. And is that being eliminated? Is that the city?
We are not going to be chalking tires anymore, and not because of constitutionality issues that I found interesting.
That was interesting because that's my property. You're not allowed to touch it without a warrant.
Yeah,
that was their argument.
So maybe that boot that I got a long time ago on my tire.
You can go ahead and fight that now.
No, what we are going to be rolling out the 1st of June is we have an electronic metering system.
Okay, so what will happen then? Just a police car goes by, or is there still going to be those little 3-wheeled vehicles out here?
Well, they'll still be the little vehicles, but what they'll be is they will then be pinged when somebody has overstayed their allotted time. So we'll be, again, putting a lot of information out in the press, especially with our parking garages.
Right.
What you can do is just enter in your license plate number and pay for your parking, do everything online. It's going to be really user friendly and using good technology.
Okay, since I went down this path, this has got a lot of callers on this show, is paying for downtown parking.
Yeah.
That has some people upset about. Is it like a monthly thing that we're doing, or yearly? How does this work here?
There are different kinds of rates depending on if you're a resident down here, if you want to park in the garage. So we will put that rate schedule out. We still owe millions of dollars on parking structures, and so those need to be paid as well too. And you go to any You go to any downtown, you go
Right.
to any city our size, and it's pretty hard to find free parking in
Okay.
downtown areas.
Okay. What about Frontier Days and big events like that where there's going to be cars packed all over the place?
We really don't patrol much at Frontier
Okay.
Days. We want to be kind to our visitors.
Okay.
Yeah.
And not to the residents, but the visitors.
Just the
That's
visitors.
fine there.
We
Okay.
double the residents' fines.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking with that.
Joking with that. No. So, okay. Just curious, because when those articles came out right away, I thought, I see that little three-wheeled vehicle driving around every so often. And I've seen them kind of chalk the tires, but that goes away real soon.
It does,
And it's just
yeah.
some electronic thing. So then what did they just get a notice in the mail you were parked for too long, or did they get a ticket on the car?
Nope, I believe that, well, that's a good question.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a bit of both, where you can pay online, but I think you will get the ticket still on the car.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot to cover in just a short period of time.
I know, I'll have to come back and answer questions.
Well, go ahead and open up the phone line to make sure to answer all the questions for that. Did we end up, you said we slightly increased the budget, but we also slightly increased our taxes?
Right. Our sales
Yeah, I
tax
mean,
revenues are
up.
increased, yes. And so that then helps cover the increases that we are experiencing in other areas.
So when I take a look at overall the budget, then you said balanced. Then.
Right.
Okay. So that's the big point is you want to make sure that we're balanced. We're not.
We're not
behind
going
at
into
all.
reserves
Nothing
or
like that.
correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Good. That's good budget
Yep.
news. A couple more real quick before I let you go.
Yeah.
We still have a hotel standing over here. Hadn't burned down yet.
I know.
Okay.
And we're making progress on that.
All right.
I'm really excited. I
But you
thought it would
can't
happen
tell.
this year. I can't tell you yet. We're still in
Okay.
negotiations.
I thought that would have been bulldozed by now.
I know. We've got 2 hotels along that strip that
Yeah.
I think are going to be changing over here pretty quickly.
Okay. Over by the roundabout, there's a building coming down, and there's a new business going up.
Yes.
Okay. So, I'm watching them do the construction and destruction on
Oh,
that.
yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
good.
Absolutely.
Anything else coming in that you've negotiated or have tried to bring people in on? Because I know that you have the ability, you have been talking with people about replacing the hotel with some other businesses, but you can't say much right
Absolutely. No, that's just it. They're businesses, and but we have some really exciting movement certainly in the Hitching Post area, the Atlas Motel. It's exciting to see Cole Shopping Center and Blue Federal
Sure.
Credit Union, what's going on with that. The Cary building, oh my goodness, the whole, now we have 2 holes. Fortunately,
Yes.
one will be filled here soon, and we are still looking to fill the Hines in the hole as well too.
now. Okay. Last one for you. So there's a famous train leaving Saturday.
How exciting.
You going to be on it?
I've been invited to be on it. I'm not
Okay.
going to be on
Oh,
it, but I
go
will be
on.
there.
Come on.
I know.
I have to be
The
out of
governor
town.
will.
I'm gonna
But
miss the whole
the
thing,
governor
yeah.
will be on the
Yeah.
train.
Okay.
But yeah, Saturday's a packed day, but I am really looking forward to welcoming it here. And,
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's already here, so we get to send it
It is
off.
already here. It came in last night. But yeah, you're going to send it off. You're going to get a chance to tour that thing?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
We're going to get pictures out of you?
Absolutely.
Okay, send me the pictures.
Yep, we'll send
Because I want to
pictures.
go ahead and do a post and all that kind of
Okay.
stuff with you on the train. Because again, I'm getting called out of town here, so I can't.
Oh, wow.
I can't stay for this. Is what I think is an historic event. I was with you during the
It really
150th
is.
anniversary of this town, so this is what made the town.
This
really.
is
So
this is
huge.
why we are here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Union Pacific. It's
Thanks
great.
for coming in. Appreciate
Thank you,
your time.
Glenn. Have a good day.
Sam 650 KGAB.